third sketchbook. Okay, so this one has like a kind of funny story. Like halfway through it, I got really bored with how most of my drawings looked, and I was like, here, let me open it to the page. At this point, I did this, but everything else before looked like boring, and it was just pencil, and there wasn't any color, and I was like, well, I don't like that. I want my sketchbook to look cool and entertaining, and I want to be able to look through it and be like, oh my god, there's so many colors. So I went back and drew over everything. So this sketchbook is like it's very eye straining. There's a lot of overlap, and it's literally just a bunch of fucked up doodles. That's pretty much it. That's entirely what this entire sketchbook is. And then yeah, I'm gonna tell you that at the end, because that's like my next sketchbook. But after I'm done showing this one, I'm gonna show you that one, and then that yellow one over there. Also, that's something I made for a protest, but I forgot to bring it. So my school, a bunch of students at our school was having like a protest for like, you know, what it says to get ice out of here, because ice fucking sucks. And I made it for them, but I completely forgot to take it to school with me, because I was gonna give it to them like halfway through the day. And it kind of sucked, but now I have a super cool sign, so if there's ever another protest, I can just use that. Anyway, I'm gonna show you that one later. I'll tell you kind of a little bit more about that one after I'm done recording this one, but anyway, let's get into it. I need to remove these pictures because I have some homecoming pictures that I don't want you to see. Okay, this is the inside. I don't care about Stranger Things. I just thought that this looked cool and I wanted to put it on. Also, I'm gonna show the front, and here's the back. Look at this. It's so cool. I honestly really liked the back more. That's why I tried to kind of replicate it a little bit on my other one, but I didn't really do the best, because I feel like the back just looks much more like creative and fun, and the front just looks kind of sloppy. But anyway, I can't really change it. Also, the front had like a different cover altogether. That's why this is here, because that was like, I put a piece of paper on it and glued it on, but the cover looked like genuine ass. Like, I really hated the cover, so I ripped it off, and I think I like threw it away. So that's why it's like that. Also, I have not sketched on the inside of the cover in a while. I think this is like, did I do that? Yeah. Also, this, I kind of like copied the same thing I did here, because I didn't like how that looked. It looked really bad, and I wanted to be able to like fill my next sketchbook up if I wanted, without it like that one right there, without it looking like that, because I didn't like how that looked and it overstimulated me. So I kind of like, but this is the first time I did it. I switched the front to put it on the back, and I switched the back to put it on the front, because the front was like, I decorated it like this. Like, that was what I first did, and I really did not like that, so I changed it. Anyway, continuing. These are old drawings that I wanted. They're like concept drawings that I wanted to make for me and my friend. This, I was gonna be like, hi kitty, hello. 1 second, I need to close the door. I don't want you in here right now. I'll cuddle you later. I'm trying to do as little editing as possible, so that's likely gonna stay in. Anyway, my friend sent me I don't think they're, yeah, you've seen them before. My friend Monty sent me like a video of like two cats like uh nature and techno cat, and then like your bright cat and dark cat, you know, like the like those types of videos. I think you understand what I'm talking about. I'm not sure. I'm not going to explain it more. But I got inspired by that and I was like, "Wait a minute. What if Monty was a robo cat and I drew them as a robot cat and they were like a little sewage rat, but they were a cat and they were feral and shit. And then I drew myself as like a nature goddess type thing or a nature dryad, and we like hung out and shit." And like I drew up concepts and I never actually drew an actual picture of it. I just drew concepts. As you can see, I spent more time on this one than this one. That is lore for probably never. I don't know. That I might explain that in this video. I'm not sure cuz they already know. So anyway, um also, I think I said in my last video, I was visiting my grandma when I started up in this sketchbook, but I drew this before I finished my other sketchbook because I was just getting so tired of my other sketchbook. I don't know. I think it's because it's so big, like wide big. Like it's a really big sketchbook in itself, and I really didn't like that. I don't like super huge sketchbooks. I like medium-sized sketchbooks, and as you can see, I don't like small sketchbooks like this. Like this one, like this one's pretty small. But if I get like this one over here and compare it, like that's a pretty big difference. So I don't really like these types of sketchbooks because I feel like they're too small. But anyway, I drew this before I finished the other one, and then I finished the other one and then continued to draw in this. And I also drew these, I think, before I finished the other one. This was when I was still, like, I'm always going to be figuring out my art style, but this was when I was, like, experimenting more. And also, that's a continuation of the Powerpuff Girl drawings I did from my last sketchbook. I just copied it here and made it me. That's just supposed to be me. And now to the random doodles. That's me in the background, but older. I don't really visualize myself looking like that now. I have no idea what I'm gonna look like, honestly. My future feels kind of weird right now. That's as deep as I'm gonna get. But I tried to draw like a bear or like a koala girl, like how I drew a bat girl and then a monkey girl. I tried to draw a koala girl. At the time, I did not like how this looked, but I kind of like how it looks now. Like, it looks nice. At least more in the camera. The camera makes it look nicer. And then this is just a random drawing. I was also in kind of like, I want to be a gay indie kid hanging out with other gay indie kids, and like we all do stuff and we hate our families and we're so depressed, but it's in like a romanticized way, and we're crying into each other's shoulders, and we're like hanging out with each other and going out and exploring and, you know, typical 2000s emo kid stuff. But I don't want to do that anymore because I hang out with like indie emo kids now, and it's kind of exhausting. I love my friends, but sometimes they can be a bit much. This is just like old. I really am not going to talk much about like specific drawings unless I have something I want to say. I'm really proud of this still. Like, I'm not as proud of it as I was when I first made it, but it's still a really cool concept, and I really like this. I also used up so many stickers on this page. That's just random doodles. That is a vent. This is just a fucking ogre. I made an ogre priest. Oh, also, this is like a concept sketch for what I wanted the cover to look like before I ripped it off. So this guy's basically just covering that and the other cover concepts. And here's Pinkie Pie. When I was trying to get into My Little Pony, I really couldn't. My Little Pony is something I only watch if I feel I am in a deep mental, like my mental health is like deep in the gutter. That's only when I'm like able to really watch it, because at that point I feel like I need a lot of escapism and I'm like regressing into like a child mind, and I just need to watch something that reminds me of my childhood. Me now, I don't watch it. But me, if I'm like really, really fucked up in the mind at the moment and just need to regress, then I'll watch it. Um, this is Flowey from Undertale. He kind of looks a little chopped, but you know what? That's fine. I mostly just drew him from memory. And then there's this thing in the background. I think you can see it. It's that was just for like concept art for like a create like a wall hanger that I wanted to make, but I never finished it. And then more random drawings. This is a kind of a nice page. I kind of like it, honestly. It just feels very random and doodle bullshit, and it's just guess I'll die. It's just that's from a meme. It's just like super random and nice. I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can like try and read out some of the stuff that I wrote, because I do have like random things that I wrote in the sketchbook on drawings. That says Sweet Tart, because I don't know, it sounded cool. And then my friend Monty drew this one. And then this says literally Monty the creature. um, More Applejack stuff, more My Little Pony stuff. I I have like this thing kind of where sometimes I'll grasp onto characters that I feel are incredibly like underloved and underrated, and Applejack is absolutely one of those characters. A lot of people say that Applejack is very underrated in the MLP community, and not a lot of people like acknowledge her other than her being a lesbian. um but like I don't actually care that much about her. I mostly just did that cuz either I felt bad, cuz sometimes I feel bad for inanimate objects or fictional characters to like a concerning degree, but I think that's more so just like a autism thing or a mental health thing. I'm aware of it. I'm working on not doing that. And when I do that, I start to tell myself I'm being a little bit delusional and I need to like chill out. That, or I just wanted to feel special. I wanted to feel different from everybody else by choosing the character that other people don't really choose, which is, I don't know, that happened. Oh boy, we're getting into the bigger stuff now. I'm gonna show you this one first. It's just a random thing I made with this random character I made that I just don't draw anymore. I don't know. I feel like there's a very recurring theme with my sketchbooks. Like, I'll have characters for those specific sketchbooks that I'll draw over and over again, and then I just won't draw them in my next ones. Like, they can be very minor characters, or they can be like all over the sketchbook, but then you don't see them in any other sketchbook. Maybe you see them like once, but never again. I don't know, it's weird. I don't really when I do make OCs, it's because I feel like really shitty at the moment and need to cope with feeling really shitty. But when I'm like feeling like fine or at least decent, I don't really feel the need to make OCs. Even though I would like to like be able to make OCs when I'm mentally like well and I'm not like in a rugged place or whatever. Like there was a specific thing that I wanted to say, but I don't know how to say it. But anyway, I would like to make OCs when I'm feeling great about myself, but I don't know, I just don't do it. It's weird. Anyway, all these emotions and yet one you can't feel towards me. This was when I had a major crush on someone who literally could not reciprocate my feelings. I'm not gonna say who. I think you can tell if you're very observant by some stuff in the sketchbook, but I'm not gonna say specifically who. We are still on good terms. I had to like avoid them for a bit, but we're good now. Anyway, um, there's this random character again, and then this is, I'm gonna check this. yeah, this is a note I made to someone. I'm not gonna open it and read it because, like, I don't know. I don't really want to, and it feels kind of like embarrassing. This is a note I made to someone. So I became the vice president of our GSA club, but because I'm in Texas and they made a stupid ass rule that schools can't have GSA, Black Club, Asian Club, whatever the fuck, we had to change it to a different name. I'm not gonna say it because I feel like if I do, you'll be able to find out where I live and what school I'm in. But I'll just say that we changed the name, and I tried to get other people to like visit. I like talked to three different kids who I just assumed was gay, but at the time my mind was kind of limited, and I have a much more open mind now. I don't really assume people are gay anymore, but like, I don't know. It was complicated. I don't want to get into it. But like, anyway, I just talked to these three people, and one of these specific people, I tried to pass a note to them, which I don't know. I thought it would come off as endearing, but I feel like I came off as kind of desperate and a little bit weird. But anyway, this is a random drawing. This is another random drawing, but covered with these other random drawings. This is another random drawing. I drew this, specifically this. There wasn't these lines here. We're gonna ignore everything else on top of it. This I drew in 10 minutes because I wanted to limit myself because, like, I have, like, other zines that I put in this thing. Like, I made them separately, but then I put them in that sketchbook. One second, I need to... Anyway, I have like other zines that I made that I put in that specific sketchbook that I made under like with a time limitation, and I felt like that gave me more creativity. And I did it with this one. As you can see, I wasn't able to finish it in time, and I kind of like drew over it after a while, but I don't know, I was proud of it. Random drawing. I like drawing black people. I feel like a lot of, because like I'm half black, so I feel like a lot of, like, I don't know, black representation isn't the best. At least in media, at least in like big like company media. Like indie media, I feel like there's a lot more black representation. Like, it's not to a significant amount, but there's a lot more than there was definitely in like the 2000s. Like, a lot more people draw black people, and I think that's very good. But we need better media. I don't know. I really enjoy drawing black people because, like, I um I primarily grew up in a white family, and the only black person I lived with when I was younger was my dad, who passed away. So I never really had the experience to be surrounded by black people, and because of that, that made me like feel much more comfortable being around white people and sort of uncomfortable being around black people, to the point where I was acting kind of racist. I don't do that anymore, obviously. But it was like really sad, and I was trying to like interact with black people through like watching black YouTubers and like interacting with black media or like black adjacent media, and I was just really desperate to be able to feel connected to my other side of the family. But I was also really scared too, because I was told by like black YouTubers and some other black people on the internet that like the black community isn't very accepting of queer people. So I was really scared to actually interact with my dad's side of the family, but I also desperately really wanted to, but I was scared that they wouldn't accept me, or that I would be disrespected majorly, or that, I don't know, that something bad would happen. But anyway, that was very deep. This is a random drawing that I made that I did not like, and so I drew these little guys over it. This is, I'm pretty sure, yeah, the first drawing I made of this character is in here. This character actually evolved to, like, separate and turn into two different other characters. Um, the other one of them was a werewolf, and the other one was a vampire. I think if you follow me on Tumblr, you know who I'm talking about. I don't use those OCs anymore, but I don't know, they exist and they came from this guy. I Did not like this drawing when I first made it. I still don't like it, think it's really ugly, but I didn't want to cover it because I felt like I've spent so much time trying to make it look nice that it at least deserved to not be covered. Anyway, this is more random crap. I probably need to cover that, actually. I'm not... You know what? If this video gets demonetized, whatever. I'm gonna... I don't know. I'm probably gonna cover that up, actually. I will cover you with that, because I don't want to have to get another piece of paper. Don't slip. This says, I ate 12 cans of battery acid and now I'm tripping balls. That makes 0 sense because battery acid does not get you high. But anyway, I just wanted to write that because, I don't know, it sounded aesthetic and quirky and I wanted to write it. And then this says, see-through clothes, and you see that I drew that. Anyway, random drawing, random eye that I still think looks pretty cool. More random drawing, stupid idiot, lol. My humor has changed a lot. There's a lot of degrading humor in this sketchbook. Because, like, I think you can tell, but I was, like, kind of going through it. I'm still kind of going through it. I'm, like, still figuring shit out. Because I have an addiction to, like, maladaptive daydreaming, and I'm working really hard to get over that addiction. I do think I'm gonna have to edit this video, honestly, because I'm gonna need to put a bunch of trigger warnings. But anyway, I have an addiction to maladaptive daydreaming, and, that other one feels a little personal, but I also have another addiction that is not related to drugs or alcohol, but it's still kind of significant. So I'm working on getting over those addictions. The other one I feel like I'm doing very well with not indulging in, but since I've been addicted to maladaptive daydreaming since I was basically like 9 or 8, I'm struggling a lot to get over it, but I'm doing well. There have been a lot of relapses, like during winter I especially relapsed really, really bad, but it's not as bad now, and I think I'm working on getting better, and I'm proud of myself. Anyway, there's this random drawing of this fox creature I made. I don't know, this little guy still itches my brain. He itched my brain so much. I love him. Monty drew this, and then they wrote true. Anyway. And then there's this on the other side. I really didn't want to glue it in, because I liked the drawings on both sides of the paper, but I had to choose whether or not I wanted to show the back, wanted to show this side, or I wanted to show my silly little creature. And I decided to show my silly little creature first, and I cut it in two. And now you can kind of like see what they look like still. I don't know. Anyway, I originally drew like a rosary inspired like necklace, but I didn't want it to be like connected to Christianity and rosaries. So I don't know. I like how rosaries look, but because they're connected to Christianity and like major religious stuff, I felt like uncomfortable and kind of like offensive if I like made a rosary that like wasn't for Christianity stuff. So I just kind of made one inspired by it, and then I think it was actually based off of this rosary that I made for my grandma, who still has not been able to take it, sadly, because I haven't been able to see her, but she'll likely visit us when she comes over, so I'm gonna give it to her when she gets over here. What was I saying? Anyway, someone thought that the necklace looked like an evil goth necklace. Ooh, and I was like, ooh, actually, I'm gonna turn it into that. And now it's an evil goth necklace. Random drawing I made. It's kind of inspired by the other long-necked creatures I made in, I think, my first sketchbook tour. Not like my first one, like the first one on this channel. Not from the other channel. but from this one. Yeah, pretty sure you're inspired by those creatures. And then this is my friend Monty again. There's a lot of drawings of them in this sketchbook. Anyway, I think you can tell why. This is them getting major pissed off. Also, I drew this at their birthday party. Because I was just like, I don't know, I was not bored, but I was overstimulated, and I also was feeling like a bunch of other emotions, like jealousy and stuff. So anyway, I drew this at their birthday party, and this is minor inconvenience, and this is them saying, I'm going to fucking kill you because of a minor inconvenience. And yeah, that's a random character. I actually forgot that I drew that. And then I drew this over it. I kind of like this. It looks cool. And there's these pages. And then I don't know if I want to show... I'm definitely not showing this. I don't know if I want to show this because this is like an old friend's drawing. I don't know, screw it. Alright. This is so genuinely beautiful. And they like drew it and they were like, I don't want it anymore. Do you want it? And I was like, why don't you want it? And they were like, I don't know. I just don't like keeping my drawings. And sometimes I want to like rip them up or something. I was like, why? And they were like, I don't know. That's how I feel. So do you want it? And I was like, yeah, sure. I'll take it. And it's super cool and awesome. And they made a bug dude. I think that looks so cool. And I really want to draw like anatomy like this. I don't know. I might study it. This is... Yeah, it's just doodles, and then also, this is a story, so these drawings in the back, these drawings in the back. So, one second, I'm getting kind of overstimulated, I've been talking too much. Okay. So when I first started my senior year, I got a really shitty not history teacher, but no, government teacher. Really shitty government econ teacher, because he does like both. He's like a coach, because obviously he's white, because obviously we're on fine terms right now. But I still don't like him. He gives me the heebie-jeebies, and he also just, he's fucking conservative. Like, of course I'm not gonna like this dude. So, when I first met him, I saw that he called out my name to class, like my dead name, and after class I was like, could you call me this other name instead? And because we're in Texas, some stupid law passed that your parents have to email your teacher about letting them use your preferred name, which is super dumb and stupid, and I think it's like, oh, it's so dumb. It's just stupid. And because my mom is only really tolerant of it, and she doesn't really see it as that big of a deal, she never emailed them, and also because she's super busy, but I also just think she just didn't see it as that big of a deal. She never emailed the guy. So instead, I just felt really shitty, and like the day after that, not the day after, but I like kind of ranted to one of my other teachers, who's kind of like a hall monitor more than a teacher, and I think he might have talked to my coach, not coach, but my econ teacher, and was like, hey dude, could you at least call them by their last name? And then he started calling me by my last name, which I'm honestly fine with. Like, as long as you don't call me by my dead name, I do not give a fuck. Like, if you don't want to call me by my preferred name, that's shitty, that's not cool, I think that's stupid, but if you don't, I can't really stop you. At least just call me by my last name. Like, don't use my first name, my dead name. Like, don't use that. But anyway, at some point in time, I think, like, the first day of the second week on Monday, he wasn't there, and I was so prepared to be dead named. Like, I was prepared for this to ruin my day. But there was a substitute, And I asked her if she could call me Ambrosia, and she was like, yeah, I can do that. And I was so happy about that. Ignore this. I was so happy about that. But yeah, that's basically the story. That's just a vent because another vent because having a crush on people sucks. This was from my junior year. From like I think 2024. Yeah, 2024. We just wrote random stuff that we wanted to get done that semester. I never did that. This is a poem. I'm contemplating if I want to show it. I'm saying this as a way to like signal that if I don't want that to be in the video, this is where like you cut to. I just showed the poem. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep that part, but it's basically just me venting about, you know, my crush on the person that did not like me back and was physically unable to, which is not a bad thing. They don't I don't owe their love, quote unquote. Anyway, this is that spiral drawing. It's super cool. I kind of like it, but anyway. More drawings. More drawings. I think that might be the first time I drew them. I think that, I don't know. Whatever. I'm just gonna like kind of speed run. There's this. If I drew this, like, I think I finished the sketchbook during October of last year. And so now it's done. Anyway, more stuff. I'm probably gonna have to cover that up, actually, because that's a hall pass. It's really covered in drawings, though, so I don't think it's that bad. Oh, there we go. Imagine being T for T with someone. This is because crush stuff. And I was trying really hard to pretend I didn't have a crush on this person. But I was like going back and forth with like my feelings and being like, oh, I don't like them anymore. Yeah, we've been away from each other for long enough. I don't have a crush on them. And then I would get a crush on them again, and it was bad. And then this, and then the butterfly effect. That's not how you spell butterfly. And then the butterfly effect. That's Susie from Deltarune. This, I think I was trying to replicate my old sketchbooks, like the first sketchbook I showed on this channel. The paint splatter thing that I did there. And it kind of worked. It's not really like... It's more so I wasn't focused on making it look like it. I was getting inspired by the ones I did in that sketchbook, and I was just allowing myself to vent and get all of my frustration out, and I was just really sad. Nah, I don't wanna talk about that. That was just for like a school project, and then I like colored over it. And then this, wow, yeah, you can, that's a lot. That says Radiant, and that says Soda Pop. And then this says Rainbow Man and Cali Girls. Oh. This is a random thing. I just put it in here because I wanted to. I got sushi, I think, with my family and with my friend Monty, and I kept the wrapper and was like, oh, I kind of want to like use this or something, and I turned it into a heart, and then I just put it in here. I didn't actually tape it in. There was another thing, but it has like stuff you can use to find out where I live, so I'm not going to show that. Vampire. Spooky, scary skeletons. And then this guy. You can tell that it was Halloween month. And then a lot of fucking vampires. I got obsessed with vampires. There it is. That's when I first drew them, and then I got attached. Because I love their design. It's so simple, but so effective, and I just loved it so much. And this guy, spooky vampires, spooky vampires, spooky. Because I think vampires are hot. I'm gonna be so for real. Oh, this. I made this on like. So like in ecom, we watched a video that was like I think 30 minutes long, showing 9/11 and stuff, and like telling us about it. And I felt like really bad for everybody. Like I still do. Like this was an actual thing that happened, and I just felt so bad at the moment for everyone that lost a person on those planes. And I just felt like I needed to like give something. So I made I made this, and I ran out of blue, so I needed to color it in with yellow. Because I didn't have any more of the light blue, and I didn't want to use the dark blue because then it would just look weird. So I colored it in with yellow, which that happened. Anyway, this is a drawing of Monty. This is a drawing of the character. That's a random cat drawing. And then this page. I drew their eyes wrong. That's why they looked so off to me, and so I tried to fix it by doing this, but it just made it look worse. What does that say? Giant dumb... I don't know what that says. A giant dumb tall. I think that's what that says. And then this says, ugh, I need to be T for T with someone. And no, you don't, babes. And then I fixed their eyes. It's just a random thing I wrote. You know, bingo, sussies, bro. You know. And this person's just imagining blowing their head up. Oh, so I got deodorant from one of my old friends because I didn't have any deodorant, or the deodorant I had at the time was just really shitty, and I could not use it because it did not do anything. So I got this deodorant from my friend, and I realized that it smelled like deodorant that my dad used to use, or like cologne that my dad used to use. Probably deodorant, actually, I don't know. And I realized that, and I was like, oh my god, Dad! So I drew him. And I also put the packaging on here. Anyway, there's this thing. I was feeling really shitty, so I drew this. And then I liked how I drew that. I'm gonna not show that. And I liked how I drew that, and I drew this. Anyway, there's another vampire. Can you tell I'm getting overstimulated and tired? There's Monty, and then there's more vampires, and then there's this super cool drawing that I made. I'm still really proud of this. I think I could have done I think I did kind of well on the lighting. I feel like the colors could have been better, like, for the whole thing, but anyway. And then this thing, because I also remember I really wanted to, like, wear scene-esque clothing, like 2000s scene clothing, but I did not have the clothing type for that, and also I mostly just wanted to wear it because I was reflecting how I felt on the inside. But anyway, because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you over again, don't make me change my mind. And then this thing, I felt like this sketchbook had too little pages, and that I wanted more pages in it, because I didn't like how little pages there were, so I added pages. To it. And then this thing, bitchiest motherfucker you'll ever meet. It's not my fault, you're a stupid idiot. And then this is a outfit that I wanted to wear. I no longer want to wear that. And then this says, don't kill yourself, that's cringe. Can you see how terrible my mental health was at this point? We're going into, like, like seasonal depression territory. I think I still kind of have depression. Like I have depressive episodes. I think that's kind of me getting over my maladaptive daydreaming addiction, or it could be like other mental health shit. But I have like super depressive episodes, and during like fall and winter especially, they get like super fucking bad. Like it was really really bad. Also, these drawings are inspired by this one YouTuber that I watched, and like I loved their animations, and their art style is just so fucking weird looking, and it's so disproportional, and it's so like it's ugly but in like the best way possible, and I loved it so much that I got so inspired and just started like kind of drawing like them, or I got inspired and started attempting to draw like them. Anyway, this says, "Don't worry, it'll be painless. Mostly." I'm gonna put this back in here. You go. There we go. And then this thing. And then that. I'm probably gonna cover that actually. I might cover that with a giant black block or something. And this thing, this was especially inspired by one of the YouTuber I was talking about drawings. Like, I think on Instagram. I got like, I basically tried to copy the drawing they did, but with a different character. I don't know, their art style is just so fucking weird looking, and I love it. Wait, what does that say? Oh, I didn't even notice this. That's a vent. Yeah, that's let it be someone else, please. Yeah, that's crush related stuff. And then this is also maladaptive daydreaming stuff, because believe it or not, maladaptive daydreaming can fuck with disorientation and make you very disoriented, and it can affect your memory. At least from my experience, it affects your memory, or it affects my memory a lot, to the point if I'm maladaptive daydreaming too much, I will literally forget to do important things that I desperately need to do. And it kind of causes you to get like somewhat ADHD, but like not really. I think it causes you to get symptoms of ADHD. And this was just me venting about it and being like, what was I thinking again? Because I'm still very tired of like forgetting to do stuff and like being disoriented at least a little bit most of the time. Like it's really rare for me, at least right now. I'm hoping this gets better. It will get better actually. I need to tell myself that. But it's really rare for me at the moment to be fully aware of my surroundings and fully like present in the moment. I think that's pretty normal for people, but for me especially, it's like I'll get once every month like a moment where I am just super aware and present in the moment, and I love those moments so much. Like this one time, I I my mom got me a bike recently, and when I first rode it, it's been forever since I rode a bike, and I haven't ridden a bike since I was like 9 or 10, because I no since I was 7 actually, because I broke my leg on it and I was too scared to get back on the bike. And I recently got a bike again, and I got over my fear of not being able to ride it, and I love my bike so much. I named her Pinkie Pie actually. Um but during that moment, I was first riding my bike, I was getting used to it. I felt so cool and awesome, and my uncle was there recording me, and he was being super supportive, and I just felt so amazing in that moment. And now I strive. God damn it. Okay, well, anyway, now I strive. Whatever, I'm gonna stop. Makeup won't make you pretty, it'll only make you cry. Yeah. I don't know. That's a thing that happened. I felt really shitty at the moment. So sometimes when I feel really shitty, I put on makeup to make myself feel better and to make myself feel like, I don't know, like a different person. This video has been very, very heavy. I'm gonna have to put like a lot of trigger warnings in the front. Anyway, this says, "Do you dare it? Dare it. I dare you to dare it. Would you dare it? Would you dare it?" Random shit. Just, I thought it sounded aesthetic and cool. Yell some more, it'll only make me more stubborn. that felt very punk-esque. I was also in like a punk phase era, I guess. I don't know. That usually happens during like the winter months. I start to listen to more like punk music or like try dressing more like alternative. I might no, I don't think I'm like a defroster. I don't think I defrost for my alternative style because I don't think I have an alternative style. My style is actually pretty like widely accepted and very not conforming but very like kind of preppy but in like a like a I don't fucking know. I'm not gonna explain that. I'm too tired. Do or die is much too merciful. I prefer lie or cry. More effective. Then there's Pomni, and then there's me. That's event. I'm not gonna read that. And then I wanted to make a, wait. I wanted to make a comic page. Well, like a comic thing, but I gave up. As you can see. And then there is, I forgot her name. What was her name? This is a character I made. Marcel? That feels so wrong. I don't think that's definitely not her name. Whatever. These are senior quote ideas, but our school has really stupid rules for what counts as a senior quote, so I literally just used a Deltarune quote. No, I used the Amazing Digital Circus quote, like specifically from Kinger. This song is one you won't forget. It will get stuck in your head. If it does, then you can't blame me. Just like I said, too catchy. Anyway. And then these. And then that. And then this last drawing. I just felt like really shitty. I felt like kind of narcissistic at that moment when I made this. But no, I didn't feel narcissistic. I felt like exploited by the men around me. Cause, I don't know, fucking men suck sometimes, even though I myself am a man. I don't know, my gender feels weird. Anyway, goodbye.